Hello everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel. I hope you are having an outstanding day. So in today's video, we are diving deep into the fascinating world of data engineering. So in this video, we'll see what data engineering is, what a data engineer actually does, and why it is one of the most demanding role in tech industries today. So if you are curious to learn about data engineering or want to explore how it works behind the scenes in the real world applications, you are in right place. So this is the perfect video to understand the foundation of data engineering and why it plays such a critical role in every data driven company. So let's get started and open a brand new chapter data engineering. So let's get started. So let's start with the big question, what is data engineering? So basically data engineering is the process of designing, building and maintaining system that collects, store and transform raw data into a usable format. This transformed data is then used by data scientists, analysts or business users to make informed decision. So now what does that actually mean? So basically data engineers are responsible for handling raw data or the unstructured messy data that comes from the various sources like apps, sensors, websites or transitions. They build systems that collect this data, store it efficiently and convert it into a clean or organized format. So once it's clean and structured, this data is handed off to the data scientist, analyst or business teams who can then use it for analytic purpose, for reporting, machine learning or product decisions. In a very simple word, data engineering is a backbone that powers any data driven system. It turns a scattered raw information into a quality data that others can actually use it. So whenever you hear something, say they are doing machine learning, productive analytics, or even dashboard reporting, it's all starts with a solid foundation of data engineering or data engineering builds. So that's what data engineering is all about, designing and managing the system that moves and prepare data for everything else that you follows. So this is all about the data engineering. This is mean by the data engineering. So now let's understand data engineering with a very simple and real-time example. Let's assume you are using a riding sharing app like Uber. So you open up the app and book a ride from your current location to destination. So here what actually happens behind the scenes from data engineering perspective. So basically you enter your pickup and drop location. This generates your location data like latitude and longitude. Then he book a time, so he collect the time booking information, then user ID and the trip ID. So let's assume those things. Then second approach, Uber assign a nearby driver to your ride, so which means drive related information is getting added, which means driver's name, car details, rating, phone number and so many things. Then estimated time for the arrival and the distance between the you and the driver. And then the third perspective or the third scenario or the third step, that is live tracking. So as your ride begins, the app tracks your real-time movement, which is driver GPS update every few seconds, traffic data, route changes, then speed, distance and many more. And then at the time of ride completion, once you reach to your destination, the app asks you rate the ride, leave a feedback and make a payment. So he generate feedback related data, rating related data and payment related data. So now here this data engineering is coming. So all the information, for example the location, rating, driver's detail, travel time, user feedback, is being generated in real time and in different format. So it's in raw format. So what do data engineer do? They collect this data from the different sources. They clean and transform it into a structured format. They store it in a securely data warehouses. They make sure it is available for the data scientist, analyst, or product team to improve the, for example, the improve the feedbacks, to generate the reports, and so many things. So without data engineering, Uber couldn't track the drivers properly. In this way, this data engineering can structure the data and convert it into the meaning for the meaningful use. So now that we understand what data engineering is, let's finally talk about what data engineer actually does. So basically, a data engineer works across multiple stage of data lifecycle, from collecting raw data to deliver it in a clean, usable format for decision makers like data scientists, analysts, or business teams. So basically, this data engineer will build a data pipelines. What does that mean? So first, the most important job for data engineer is to build the data pipelines. So think of data pipeline like a highways that moves data from one place to another place. For example, from a web app to a central data house, which can transfer a data from source to destination. So for example, a data engineer sets up a pipeline that collect users click data from an e-commerce website and sends it to the storage system like a BigQuery. Then the second stage is nothing but data cleaning and transformation, which is we call it as an ETL. ETL stands for extract, transfer, and load. This process ensure the raw data is cleaned, formatted, and ready to be used. For example, removing duplicate signups in a user database, then converting timestamp into a human readable date and time, and then standardizing inconsistency address fields. Then the third stage is nothing but working with big data technologies, which means data engineers also handles large volume of data, often real time. So for example, in apps like Amazon or Flipkart, millions of records are generated every day. Product, views, orders, returns, and payment. So data engineer uses tools like Apache, Hadoop, Google Data Flow to process this data efficiently and very quickly. Then the last but not the least, manage the data warehouses. So they are also responsible for designing and managing the data warehouses system where all the structured data is stored and queried. For example, let's assume an airline company stores millions of past flights records in a data warehouse to analyze delays, optimize the routes, and plan for a weather condition. So data engineer make sure that this data is organized, secure, and query friendly. And then finally, data engineer will collaborating with data scientists and analysts or the business teams. So their job is to make sure the data being used in reliable, complete, and accessible. This means building the dashboard, setting up the automated reports, like making it easy to access data with tools like Tableau or Power BI. So this is all about how this, so this is the main actual working life or the main stages of this data engineer will do. So that's all about the data engineering and how data engineer works behind the scenes to power modern application and businesses. So let's do a quick recap what we have covered in this video so far. We started with what data engineering is and understand its definition and purpose. Then we looked at a real-time example using Uber to understand how raw data is created during a ride and how data engineer helps to manage that data. Then we explore the key responsibilities of data engineer, which is building a data pipeline, performing data cleaning and transformation, we call it as ETL, then working with big data technologies, managing the data warehouses, and collaborating with data scientists and analysts. And finally, we discuss importance of data engineering. So, if you found this video very helpful, then don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to support the channel. In the upcoming videos, we are going to deep dive into a practical data engineering, which includes how to build a data pipeline from scratch, how to store and manage data using cloud technologies, how to process millions of records, and how to generate real-time reports from raw data. So we are going to learn data engineering step by step together. So stay tuned, keep learning, and as always, happy coding. I'll see you in the next video. Until then, have a great day.